Hi guys, and welcome back to Gladly Global. Today we are talking about accountability, my favorite word. So in this video we're going to be giving 10 tips on how to keep yourself accountable to your goals. We made a poll on Gladly Global's Instagram account and asked what is the most difficult aspect of language learning, and the majority of you said that it was being consistent, and boy do I agree. For me, when it comes to language learning, being accountable to my goals is the most difficult aspect of it. I set goals, I put them down, and then I don't necessarily know how to connect with them, how to make smaller steps to get to them. Or I forget about the goal altogether and then study what I want. Or I put it in my calendar and then I'm like, yeah, not today. Lots of things can happen, but I have been working on it a lot, and I think I have found a much better sweet spot to staying more committed and keeping myself accountable to what I say I'm actually gonna do. These tips from 1 to 10 are in order of what I deem most important. Some of them are quite equally important, but it is in order from, yes, obviously you have to do this, to, okay, this one is not so mandatory, but it may be able to help you depending on what kind of person you are. So the first tip is write your goals down. Write what you want to do down. And although this sounds really simple, it's actually very difficult because you need to make smart goals. Goals that are not just things that you'll never be able to achieve, things that you don't know what the benchmark is for achieving it, things that are up in the air that you can't, there's no way to actually work towards them in a visible way for you. The second tip goes right in hand with that, and that is to narrow down your goals. What I suggest for this is actually, you could do it in two ways depending on if you're more of a visual person or you are more of a just clean-cut writing person. But start with a main heading. Could be the center of a mind map, could be just the top of a bulleted list, but start with your big goal, like being fluent in X language, for example. Start there. Then start drawing lines from your main one, from the center of your mind map, or start adding bullet points underneath that main aspect and start thinking about what that means to you. Knowing the minimum required kanji for JLPT. Being able to have a conversation with my friend at school or the exchange student and feeling confident about it. Watching a Korean drama and understanding it without subtitles. Whatever your goals may be, try to narrow it down. And when you narrow it down even smaller and make even subcategories for that. I would like to do it in a year. So in that case, every month I would like to be able to learn X amount of words, or every month I would like to be able to feel comfortable at this level or doing this thing. And for me, I don't often measure the amount of words that I learn, so it doesn't have to be that specific, but try to break down what you need to do to reach your top goal in as small pieces as humanly possible, because that will help you to not get winded by the big goal and actually have small actionable steps that you can say, okay, I'm gonna take 1 hour today to cross this off my list and be one step closer to where I want to be. Tip 3 is tell someone. So depending on what kind of person you are, again, this could mean a lot of different things. You could post it on your Instagram or join the communities so you have someone to root for you or look out for your posts or something that gives you a little bit more purpose when you study. That's what I do, that's why we are even here. Or it could be a friend that is also studying something similar or studying something completely different, but you can both exchange your goals so you both know and and can try to keep each other on your toes or something like that. But do tell someone. Don't just keep it to yourself and write it down on a little paper and hide it under a keyboard. Tell someone that you know will be supportive. Tell someone that you want to make proud. Tell someone, tell anyone really. Tell somebody, and that will solidify it and make it real. Number 4, make specific times to do it. So there are so many ways to schedule, and we have a few videos on our channel that also have to do with scheduling and time management. But in general, set a time that you would like to do things, because if you have a specific time, then you at least give yourself the pit of guilt every time that time comes around and you don't do it. At the very least, it's conscious in your brain. On top of that, extra brownie points is if you can connect that time to something else. So for example, in the morning you like to have your coffee, and say every time you have your coffee you are going to work with your word list on Quizlet, and that will just be a thing that you do. This is a set slot for this thing. Don't leave it up to your willpower. Nick Wignall recently talked about the 4 things that self-disciplined people do not do, and his first number 1 thing is to rely on willpower. Willpower should be the last result for someone who is self-disciplined, because our willpower is not very reliable. Really not reliable. So keep that as your last resort to actually push yourself to do something. Yeah, that is your last plan, your plan Z, okay? Try to make things as easy as possible for you to do them with some other stuff, like having a time slot. Number 5, work with someone. So this one is one of my favorites. Ever since I was in grade school, I did not like to do my homework alone. I did not like to study alone. I found it very hard to focus. I found it very easy to fall into temptations or something like that. Some people do like to study alone, but say if you get nervous being in a chat with lots of other people or being in the room with your friends, join a live stream, for example, where someone else is studying. There are a lot of really aesthetic ones here on YouTube. I do them every other Monday. Anna also has them, but on Twitch. So if you're a gamer, you can go to her Twitch ones. They are so aesthetic because she has sexy equipment to do it. So if you've enjoyed mine before, go check out Anna's on Twitch because they're really flippin' cool. But yeah, join a group, study with someone on a live stream so you feel, use the Pomodoro method with them, take breaks with them, use them as a motivation to get into the flow of studying. Because usually if you can start, it's not hard anymore. It's just like relying on that willpower to make you start, that's when it's difficult. So I will interrupt this a little bit just because I thought I could introduce to you our new thing, our new service that we're working on that may help you if you'd like to find someone else to study with at the same time, or like-minded people who are also really goal-oriented, or someone to help keep you accountable, etc., etc. So we have started a new membership service. There is a free part and a paid part, but the free part, I really do urge you to go in. Here's how it works. There's this Discord server, and there's all sorts of things you can do. You can practice via text in whatever language you are practicing, or you can jump in a study room and study with someone else, right? Whenever you feel like it, you just type in here, hey, hi, I'm about to study. Does anyone else want to study with me? And you can find a partner just like that. And also you can practice speaking. There's also speaking chat rooms, etc., and a place for you to ask language questions. And we are also in the Discord chat room every single day, so if you had questions for us, you can also ask us directly. And then for the paid membership, which is basically what we're doing instead of Patreon now, you are able to meet with us every single Sunday, where we help you to distill your goals into actionable tasks that you will do weekly, so it's not such a big hurdle, and we can actually listen to your goals and kind of correct you, adjust you a little bit, so that we know that the goals or the tasks that you're doing will actually allow you to achieve the goals that you would like to achieve. And it's really awesome because since we meet every Sunday. We get to keep each other accountable and make sure everything is going tip-top shape. And also we study with each other or do speaking practice or writing practice or book club after our accountability sessions as well. So if this interests you, make sure to message or comment or send a DM or something, and we will sort you out. The link for the Discord community, the free part, is gonna be down in the description box below and in the first comment. So make sure to check it out if you are looking for someone else to study with on a regular basis. Number 6, set firm rules, very firm rules. So they say that if you set, okay, I shoulds, or around or maybes to what you would like to do, a lot of people feel like, okay, that's better because then you don't feel like it's a thing, so you'll be more likely to like feel inspired by that. But actually it's often the opposite, in where if you give yourself the option not to do it, then you just won't at all. So it's much better to say that you must do this. It is the rule, there are no exceptions, and that way you will do it and start to actually build the habit of doing it when it doesn't feel like daily you have to make that decision anymore. You actually start to get there. If you're on and off and on and off, then you'll never be able to reach that space of habit where it doesn't feel so much friction anymore. Set a hard-ass rule that says, yeah, no, I have to do this every day at 1 o'clock, no matter what. If I'm at a friend's house, if I'm at, no, I need to stop at 1 o'clock and do this thing. Hard rules. Number 7, start with just 5 minutes. Okay, this is one of my favorite rules because I think that I really enjoy studying. Like hello, I have this entire YouTube channel about studying. I love studying, but for some reason, every time I'm like, okay, I need to study, I don't want to study. It's like I get lazy and all, but it doesn't make any sense because I really enjoy studying. So the rule is set a 5-minute timer. 5 minutes. 5 minutes alone. And I suggest you use Forest app to do it, because if you use this app to do it, you can actually help to plant trees all over in where deforestation hits the most. So do use Forest to set your 5 minutes, your 5-minute timer, and start. And often you'll find 5 minutes is not enough and you will continue, or you'll be like, oh yeah, and you'll get into the vibe and you'll start wanting to study and it will totally not be a problem, and yeah, the friction is gone after that 5 minutes. So always start, well, if you're having trouble, start with 5 minutes. Number 8, set rewards or some kind of ultimatum, etc. I feel like I don't do this very often, but there was a time when I did it. Like if I complete something for 7 days, like give yourself your own point card. You can make like a little thing. Maybe I'll make that for you guys, like a point card sheet. And if you study for 7 days in a row, then you can get a candy. And if you study for 14 days in a row, then you can buy a pie. And if you study for the whole month, then maybe you deserve 2 days off break with video games and punch. I don't know what the hell. But if you have a very, very set thing that you would like to do, some habit that you would like to build, then it's totally fine to set some kind of framework and give yourself rewards, because it'll be worth it, and then you'll have 2 things to look forward to. 1, you would have achieved your goal of building a habit, and 2, you get an extra pie at the end of the week. Amazing! Number 9 is to be firm on yourself, but not hard on yourself. So, we've talked about setting strict rules, we've talked about not leaving any leeway for yourself. So you should be firm. If you don't do something, you should criticize yourself. Hello, why are you not doing this? I do it all the time. Teresa, hello, why are you sitting on the bed? Why are you watching TV right now when you know you are supposed to be studying? Hello. And it often helps to be a little self-critical when those times come, because it's not okay. It's not what you want. So don't be over-forgiving. to when you break, but at the same time, do not be hard on yourself. If you don't make your goal or you don't do something that you planned, it's not the end of the world, and that's, I mean, it's not okay, but it's okay. It's not what you wanted, but it's not the end of the world. You will be fine. You are still a wonderful person. You are still great. It's not a you thing, it's a this situation thing. So don't beat up on yourself, because then you're just gonna not want to do it even more. If you beat up on yourself, then you'll think that you don't have the ability to do it, and you are not the kind of person who can be accountable, and you are not the person who are able to blah, 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 blah. But it's not that. It is not that at all. Everyone can do it, and you can do it. You are totally enough. It's just that situation that you should be chastising. Hello! You are amazing studier, so accountable, wonderful, confident person. Why are you sitting here slacking and watching TV? Please get up, because you deserve better, ma'am, sir, like this. And our last tip, number 10, is track your progress and be your own motivation. When you track your progress and your wins, this one is actually really important, even though I put it at the end, because perhaps it's not a preemptive thing so much, it's a little bit of a booster afterwards, but it really does help. I think this is one of the things that helps me the most, is really keeping track of what I do better. One of the things that I like to do, since you know I don't count words, is I will be watching a TV show and I'll watch it again in a month. And when I feel how much more I know, oh my god, it feels incredible. And so these little things like, okay, I finished a textbook, or I finished a chapter, or I can now use this sentence. I try to write them down. I write down these in my journal, and I keep track of the things that I do well. Or on Instagram, I do that too. Whenever I have some kind of win, I tell people about it, and I feel good about it. And you know, I have so many supportive friends, and you guys who tell you, oh my gosh, Teresa, good job, yay! And that feels great. That feels wonderful. That fact of me being a little inspirational in this situation inspires future me as well to get things done in the same way. When I see what I was able to accomplish, it inspires and motivates me to do more and accomplish more. It is wonderful, because you know what? No one should be more motivational to you than you. And if you are not motivated by yourself, then you have one of two problems. You're being too hard on yourself and not hard on the problems, or perhaps you don't spend enough time thinking about how many things you actually accomplished. Like, there's a lot. If you take the time to think about it, there's a lot of things that you've done and that you've good at and that you've increased on. So be happy about those and use that as motivation to accomplish the things that you haven't yet done. Okay, so that's it for today's video, and as we mentioned, there is the support group, so if you're interested in joining it, I left the link down below. It's very simple. Fill out a little thing, join us. We'll see you there on Sunday mornings in the States and Sunday evenings in Europe. Okay, and if you like this video, give us a like and a thumbs up and all of those nice things. A like and a thumbs up is the same thing, so bye guys.